Previously, on Mystery Hub, Where Truth Awakes. In January 1988, the Knowles family, Mother Faye, and her sons Patrick, Sean, and Wayne were driving across the endless Nullarbor Plain of Australia. A quiet night, a long journey under a canopy of stars. Suddenly, a strange glowing object appeared above their car, an object that didn't just observe, but interacted. What started as simple curiosity quickly turned into a terrifying, high-speed chase across the desolate highway, and an encounter with something no one could explain. When the family finally managed to stop their battered vehicle near the small, remote town of Chiduna, the true extent of their ordeal became horrifyingly clear. The roof was strangely dented, pushed inward, as if a great weight had been pressed down upon it. The tires were coated in a fine, almost unnaturally uniform, gray dust. All four family members were trembling uncontrollably, their voices cracking with a mixture of terror and disbelief. They recounted a story that seemed torn from the pages of science fiction. They claimed they had been lifted, car and all, into the air by a bright, humming object that seemed to defy all known laws of physics. Faye, Patrick, Sean, and Wayne had not just seen a UFO, they insisted they had been captured by it. Faye Knowles, the matriarch of the family, described a moment of pure, suspended terror. As the car was enveloped by the brilliant light, she said she tried to reach for her son's arm, a desperate, instinctual gesture of a mother trying to protect her child. But in that instant, everything went utterly silent. The deafening hum that had filled their world vanished. The blinding light receded into an eerie calm. For a moment that stretched into an eternity, they were weightless, suspended between the earth and the unknown. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, they dropped from the unknown to the earth. The car slammed back onto the asphalt with a sickening thud, a jarring return to reality that left them shaken to their very core. At the Chiduna police station, the officers on duty were confronted with a scene they were not prepared for. The family's condition was alarming. They were clearly in a state of profound shock. Their story, however, was delivered with a raw, desperate sincerity that was difficult to dismiss. The officers, seasoned and practical, noted the physical evidence before them. Car was a key witness. The deep, concave dents in the roof were inexplicable. The car had damaged. Car was covered by a strange gray dust, a thick, acrid smell of burnt rubber and something else. Something metallic and ozonic, hung heavily in the air around the vehicle. This was not the aftermath of a simple car accident or a prank. This was something different, something deeply unsettling. The strange gray dust coating the tires became a focal point of the initial investigation. Samples were carefully collected and sent for analysis, with investigators hoping it would provide a tangible clue, a rational explanation for the night's events. The results, however, only deepened the mystery. Forensic tests concluded that the substance was not toxic, and it contained a mixture of common elements. But its composition didn't match anything from the surrounding environment. It wasn't road dust from the Nullarbor. It wasn't volcanic ash or industrial fallout. Its origin remained a complete enigma. It was something else. An alien residue, perhaps, left behind by their otherworldly pursuer. The dust was a silent, physical testament to an encounter that defied easy explanation. The dust was a silent, physical testament to an encounter that defied easy explanation. When the media arrived, the case exploded across Australia. Experts, skeptics, and believers all wanted answers. Mystery Hub, Where Truth Awakes, the Knowles' strangest and terrifying encounter case, Part 2. In Part 2, we'll uncover the aftermath, the investigations, and the theories that still divide experts nearly 4 decades later. News of the UFO family from the Nullarbor spread like wildfire through the Australian media and then across the globe. Reporters and television crews descended upon the small town of Chiduna, camping outside the family's hotel, desperate for an exclusive interview, a photograph, any piece of the story. The Knowles family was thrust into an uncomfortable and overwhelming spotlight. Almost overnight, became public figures, their terrifying private experience turned into a public spectacle. Simultaneously, a wave of skepticism began to build. Psychologists and so-called experts, appearing on television and in newspapers, offered more grounded explanations. They claimed it was a classic case of mass hysteria, a shared delusion brought on by the fatigue of a long, monotonous drive through the desert night. Others suggested it was a simple misidentification of a natural phenomenon, like a meteor, or even the headlights of another truck distorted by atmospheric conditions. Imagination, they argued, can be a powerful and deceptive force. But how could four different people, of different ages and perspectives, share the exact same vivid story? How could a shared delusion account for the very real, very physical evidence? The dented roof, the shattered antenna, the inexplicable gray dust covering the car, these were not products of the mind. The Knowles family, weathering the storm of both intense media scrutiny and cynical public skepticism, held firm to their account. They repeated their story to anyone who would listen, their conviction unwavering. In interview after interview, they insisted with a haunting consistency, "We were chased, lifted, and dropped by something not from this earth." Their unified testimony, combined with the damaged car, the roof car dented, the shattered antenna, car hood damaged, the inexplicable gray dust covering the car and wheels, presented a powerful challenge to those who sought to dismiss their ordeal as mere fantasy. To this day, decades after that terrifying night on the Nullarbor Plain, no official explanation has ever been given for the Knowles family's encounter. The case remains open, filed away in police records as an unsolved and unexplained incident. The vacuum of an official conclusion has been filled with countless theories. Some researchers point to the nearby Woomera prohibited area, a vast and secretive military testing range. They speculate that the Knowles family may have inadvertently stumbled upon a test of a highly advanced futuristic experimental spaceship or drone technology, an incident the government would have every reason to cover up. The UFO, in this scenario, was man-made, a secret of our own world, not another. Others, however, believe the explanation lies far beyond our planet. They argue that the Nullarbor Plain, with its vast, empty landscapes and clear night skies, has long been a hotspot for UFO activity. For these believers, the Knowles family's experience is a classic, textbook example of an extraterrestrial encounter. The strange light, the advanced maneuvering of the object, the humming sound, the physical effects on the car, and the psychological impact on the witnesses all point to a technology far beyond our own. They believe the Knowles encountered something truly extraterrestrial, a visitor from another world, drawn to the desolate beauty of the Australian desert that night. Perhaps the truth of what happened is not a single, simple answer but lies somewhere in the space between these possibilities. Perhaps the truth lies buried in the red dust of Australia, waiting for those brave enough to look again. You've been watching Mystery Hub, where truth awakes. If truth is out there, perhaps it's closer than we think. Thank you for watching and welcome to Mystery Hub, where truth awakes. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share. Thanks.